In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers kissed the sky and dreams were woven into the fabric of everyday life, stood a quaint jewelry store known as Elysian Gems. The store, with its elegant display windows showcasing shimmering diamonds and intricate gold designs, was not just a place to buy jewelry, it was a sanctuary for those seeking beauty and craftsmanship. Owned by a talented black woman named Maya Thompson, Elysian Gems had become a beloved fixture in the community. Maya was not only a skilled jeweler, but also an entrepreneur who had poured her heart and soul into building her brand from the ground up. Her journey was one of resilience and determination. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, she had always dreamed of creating pieces that told stories of love, heritage, and empowerment. After years of hard work and countless sacrifices, she finally opened her own store, which quickly gained popularity for its unique designs that celebrated black culture and artistry. On a bright Saturday afternoon, the store was buzzing with customers. The scent of fresh flowers filled the air as Maya greeted each visitor with warmth and enthusiasm. She believed that every piece of jewelry held a special meaning and wanted her customers to feel that connection when they entered her shop. However, outside the serene walls of Elysian Gems, tensions were brewing. A group of officers had just parked their patrol car nearby. They were on routine patrol, but had no idea that their actions would soon set off a chain of events that would challenge their perceptions and biases. As they stepped out of their vehicle, they noticed Maya through the window, engaged in conversation with a customer. Her radiant smile lit up the room as she showcased a stunning necklace adorned with intricate designs inspired by African motifs. The officers exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from curiosity to skepticism. "Look at that," one officer chuckled, his voice dripping with condescension. "What does she know about real jewelry? Probably just a front for something else." His partner smirked in agreement, adding, "Yeah, I bet she's just trying to make a quick buck." Their laughter echoed outside, oblivious to the fact that Maya could hear them through the thin glass. For a moment, her heart sank as she felt the sting of their mockery. But instead of allowing their words to diminish her spirit, she took a deep breath and focused on her customer. After all, she had faced adversity before. This was just another challenge to overcome. Inside Elysian Gems, Maya continued to explain the significance behind each piece of jewelry to her customer, a young woman looking for something special for her upcoming wedding. Maya spoke passionately about how each design represented strength and beauty, drawing inspiration from her own heritage. The young woman listened intently, captivated by Maya's knowledge and enthusiasm. Meanwhile, outside the store, the officers continued their banter. They made jokes about what they perceived as ghetto jewelry, unaware that they were mocking not only Maya's craft, but also her identity and hard-earned success. Their ignorance was palpable. They were trapped in their own biases, unable to see beyond the surface. As fate would have it, one officer decided to enter Elysian Gems out of sheer curiosity, perhaps to confirm his preconceived notions, or simply to pass the time. The moment he stepped inside, he was greeted by an atmosphere filled with creativity and elegance. The walls were adorned with vibrant artwork, celebrating black culture, alongside displays of exquisite jewelry. Maya looked up from her conversation and smiled warmly at him. "Welcome. How can I assist you today?" she asked genuinely. The officer hesitated for a moment, taken aback by her friendliness. He had expected an awkward silence or perhaps defensiveness in response to his earlier comments. Instead, he found himself confronted by Maya's grace and professionalism. I'm just looking around," he replied awkwardly, trying to shake off his previous attitude. As he wandered through the store, he couldn't help but notice how each piece seemed to tell its own story, stories woven into gold chains and silver rings that sparkled under the soft lighting. The beauty around him began to chip away at his earlier judgments. Maya continued assisting her customer while keeping an eye on the officer. She sensed an opportunity, not just to showcase her jewelry, but also to challenge stereotypes head-on. With every piece she sold that day, she aimed to dismantle misconceptions about black entrepreneurs and artists. Little did anyone know that this encounter would soon take an unexpected turn, one that would force not only the officer, but also everyone involved to confront their biases head-on. As the clock ticked away in Elysian Gems on that fateful Saturday afternoon, Maya remained unaware of how profoundly this day would change perceptions, not just about her jewelry, but about who she was as a person and what she represented in her community. The incident. As the afternoon sun streamed through the glass windows of Elysian Gems, illuminating the intricate details of each jewelry piece, Maya continued to engage with her customer. She shared stories behind her designs, emphasizing the cultural significance and craftsmanship that went into each item. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and excitement, a stark contrast to the tension brewing just outside. Meanwhile, the officer who had entered the store was still trying to reconcile his preconceived notions with what he was experiencing. He wandered from display to display, his earlier bravado slowly fading as he began to appreciate Maya's artistry. However, his partner remained outside, still unaware of the transformation taking place within the store. Outside, the second officer leaned against their patrol car, scrolling through his phone while occasionally glancing at the store. He couldn't shake off his earlier comments and felt a sense of superiority in mocking what he perceived as an inferior business. "I can't believe people actually buy this stuff," he muttered under his breath, loud enough for a passerby to hear. The passerby, a local resident who had been shopping nearby, stopped and turned to him, visibly offended. "You have no idea what you're talking about," she replied sharply. "Maya's work is incredible. She's built this business from nothing and represents our community in ways you can't even imagine." The officer scoffed at her defense but felt a flicker of doubt. He had heard whispers about Maya's success, but had dismissed them as exaggerated tales from those who supported her. Yet here was someone standing up for her, challenging his narrow view. Inside Elysian Gems, Maya noticed the shift in energy as her customer admired a pair of handcrafted earrings that sparkled like stars in the night sky. "These are beautiful. What inspired you to create them?" the customer asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Maya smiled warmly, eager to share her inspiration. "These earrings are inspired by African folklore. Each bead represents a different story passed down through generations. I wanted to create something that not only looks beautiful, but also carries meaning," she explained passionately. Just then, the second officer decided it was time to join his partner inside. He walked in with an air of arrogance, ready to make another snide remark. But as soon as he stepped through the door, he was met with an atmosphere that contradicted everything he thought he knew. "Hey, what's going on in here?" he called out loudly, drawing attention from everyone present. His tone was mocking, as if expecting to find some sort of scandal or deception. Maya turned to him with poise. "Welcome. We're just discussing some of our unique pieces," she replied calmly, refusing to let his attitude affect her. The officer smirked and glanced around at the displays. "Unique. More like cheap knockoffs," he said loudly enough for everyone in the store to hear. The laughter from earlier faded into an uncomfortable silence as customers exchanged glances. Maya felt a rush of emotions, anger mixed with disappointment, but she chose not to react impulsively. Instead, she took a deep breath and addressed him directly. "Actually, each piece here is handcrafted and designed with love and care. I take pride in my work and my heritage," she stated firmly. The officer scoffed again, but noticed that some customers were now frowning at him disapprovingly. The atmosphere had shifted. People were beginning to rally around Maya without even realizing it. "Yeah? And how do you know what real jewelry looks like?" he shot back defiantly. Maya stood tall and replied confidently, I know what real craftsmanship looks like because I've dedicated my life to this art form. My pieces tell stories that matter, stories of resilience and culture. At this moment, Maya's customer spoke up, emboldened by Maya's strength. "You should try listening instead of judging," she said boldly. "Maya has created something truly special here." The officer hesitated for a moment. He wasn't used to being challenged like this. His partner stood beside him, feeling increasingly uncomfortable as he realized that their earlier banter had crossed a line. "Look," Maya continued, maintaining her composure despite the tension in the air, "I understand that you might have your opinions about what jewelry should be or who should create it, but I invite you to see beyond your assumptions." The second officer shifted uncomfortably, but remained silent as his partner tried to regain control of the situation. "Whatever," he muttered dismissively. "I just don't see how someone like you could run a place like this." Maya's heart raced at his words. She could feel the weight of stereotypes pressing down on her, but she refused to let them crush her spirit any longer. "Someone like me? You mean a black woman? I'm proud of who I am and what I've accomplished," she asserted passionately. The tension in Elysian Gems reached its peak as customers began murmuring among themselves, some nodding in agreement with Maya, while others looked on in disbelief at the officer's attitude. "Maybe you should take a moment to reflect on your biases." One older gentleman spoke up from across the room. His voice was steady and commanding. It resonated with years of experience navigating a world filled with prejudice. The officer shifted uncomfortably again as more customers began voicing their support for Maya and condemning his behavior. It was clear that this wasn't just about jewelry anymore. It was about respect and recognition for black entrepreneurs striving against systemic barriers. Feeling cornered and realizing that he had lost control of the narrative, the officer finally turned on his heel and walked out of Elysian Gems without another word, his partner trailing behind him reluctantly. As they left, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of relief wash over her, but also sadness for how deeply ingrained biases could manifest in such blatant ways. She turned back toward her customers, who were now applauding her courage and standing up against injustice. "Thank you all for your support," she said sincerely, tears welling up in her eyes, but pride swelling in her heart. "It means more than you know." In that moment, Elysian Gems transformed from just a jewelry store into a symbol of resilience, a place where stories were shared not just through jewelry, but through shared experiences and collective strength against adversity. Little did they know that this incident would soon ripple beyond those walls, sparking conversations about race, entrepreneurship, and community empowerment throughout their city. The revelation. As the door of Elysian Gems swung shut behind the departing officers, a palpable sense of relief filled the air. Customers exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of disbelief and solidarity. Maya stood at the center of it all, her heart racing from the confrontation but her spirit unbroken. The incident had ignited something within her, a fierce determination to reclaim her narrative and educate those around her about her journey. "Wow, Maya, that was incredible," exclaimed the young woman who had been admiring the earrings. "I can't believe how you handled that. You're so inspiring." Maya smiled through her emotions, grateful for the support. "Thank you. It's important to stand up for ourselves and our work. I've faced challenges before, but moments like this remind me why I do what I do." The older gentleman who had spoken up earlier approached Maya with a warm smile. "You have a gift for not only creating beautiful jewelry, but also for conveying powerful messages through your art. It's a shame that some people can't see beyond their biases." Maya nodded, feeling a sense of camaraderie with her customers. "I believe that every piece I create tells a story, my story, our stories. It's not just about selling jewelry, it's about sharing culture and heritage." As conversations flowed, Maya found herself surrounded by customers eager to learn more about her designs. They asked questions about her inspirations, her creative process, and how she had built Elysian Gems from the ground up. "Tell us more about your journey," one customer prompted. "How did you get started in this business?" Maya took a deep breath, realizing that this was an opportunity to share not just her professional journey, but also the personal struggles that shaped her into who she was today. "I grew up in a neighborhood where opportunities were scarce," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "From a young age, I was fascinated by jewelry, how it could transform someone's appearance and convey emotions without words. But I never saw anyone who looked like me in this industry." She paused, letting her words sink in. "So, I decided to change that narrative. I enrolled in art classes and studied jewelry design while working multiple jobs to support myself. It wasn't easy. There were many nights when I doubted myself and wondered if I would ever succeed." Her customers listened intently, captivated by her story. "But I kept pushing forward," she continued. "I wanted to create pieces that celebrated my culture and empowered others to embrace their identities. Elysian Gems is more than just a store. It's a celebration of who we are." The room fell silent as Maya's words resonated deeply with everyone present. They could feel the passion behind each piece displayed in the store. Each necklace, bracelet, and earring carried not just beauty, but also history and significance. Just then, a local journalist who had been observing from the back stepped forward. "Maya," she said with enthusiasm, "would you be willing to share your story with our community? This incident could be an opportunity to highlight your journey as a Black entrepreneur and advocate for change." Maya felt a rush of excitement mixed with apprehension. She had always been shy about sharing her personal experiences in public forums, but she understood the importance of visibility, especially for young Black women aspiring to break barriers in business. "I would love to," she replied, her voice gaining strength. "If my story can inspire even one person to pursue their dreams or challenge their biases, then it's worth it." The journalist beamed at Maya's response and quickly pulled out her notebook to jot down details for an upcoming feature on local entrepreneurs making an impact in their communities. As word spread about the incident involving the officers at Elysian Gems, social media began buzzing with support for Maya and condemnation of the officers' behavior. Hashtags like "Support Black Business" and "Empowerment Through Art" started trending as people shared their own stories of overcoming adversity or standing against prejudice. Within hours, news outlets picked up the story. The local community rallied around Maya as they learned more about her journey and the significance of Elysian Gems as a cultural hub. The narrative shifted from one of mockery to one of empowerment. Maya watched as customers began pouring into her store, not just to purchase jewelry, but to show solidarity and support for what she represented. Each sale became more than just a transaction. It was an affirmation of identity and culture. One day after the incident, Maya hosted an open house event at Elysian Gems to celebrate community resilience and creativity. She invited local artists and entrepreneurs to showcase their work alongside hers, a vibrant display of talent reflecting diverse backgrounds. The event drew crowds from all over the city as people came together to celebrate art, culture, and entrepreneurship. Maya felt overwhelmed by the turnout. It was heartwarming to see so many individuals united in support of one another. As guests mingled among displays of jewelry, paintings, and crafts, Maya took a moment to reflect on how far she had come, from facing ridicule outside her store to standing proudly at its center, surrounded by love and support. During the event, she took time to speak with attendees about her vision for Elysian Gems moving forward. "This space is not just mine, it belongs to all of us," she declared passionately. "I want it to be a place where everyone feels welcome, where our stories are celebrated through art." People nodded enthusiastically in agreement as they shared their own aspirations for collaboration and community engagement. Amidst all this excitement, Maya received an unexpected message from one of the officers who had mocked her just days earlier. He reached out via social media, an apology accompanied by an acknowledgement of his ignorance during their encounter. "I've been reflecting on my actions," he wrote sincerely. "I realize now how wrong I was to judge without understanding your story or your work. I hope you can forgive me." Maya felt a mix of emotions reading his message: anger at his initial behavior, but also compassion for his willingness to acknowledge his mistakes. She decided to respond thoughtfully. "Thank you for reaching out. We all have room for growth and learning, myself included. I believe that conversations like these are essential for change." This exchange marked another pivotal moment in Maya's journey. Not only was she reclaiming her narrative through art, she was also fostering dialogue around bias and understanding within her community. As Elysian Gems continued to thrive amidst newfound visibility and support, Maya remained committed to using her platform for advocacy, creating spaces where voices could be heard and stories could be shared freely. Little did she know that this was just the beginning of an incredible journey toward empowerment, not only for herself, but for countless others inspired by her courage and resilience. Community reaction. As the open house event at Elysian Gems unfolded, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of joy and pride. The store, once a small dream nurtured in the confines of her imagination, had transformed into a vibrant community hub. The walls that had witnessed moments of doubt and ridicule now echoed with laughter, conversation, and shared stories. Guests mingled as they admired the jewelry displays, each piece a testament to Maya's creativity and dedication. Local artists showcased their work alongside her creations, fostering an environment of collaboration and mutual support. The air was filled with excitement as people exchanged ideas and connected over their shared passions. Maya took a moment to step outside the store, where she was greeted by a crowd that had gathered on the sidewalk. The buzz of conversation, mixed with the sounds of laughter, created a lively atmosphere. She felt a rush of gratitude for everyone who had come to support her, a diverse group representing different backgrounds and experiences. Among the crowd was a local activist named Jamal, known for his work in advocating for social justice and equality. He approached Maya with a warm smile, his presence exuding positivity. "Maya, this is incredible. You've turned a negative experience into something so powerful," he said, gesturing toward the bustling crowd. "Thank you, Jamal. I never expected this kind of turnout," Maya replied, her heart swelling with pride. "It's amazing to see our community come together like this." Jamal nodded in agreement. "Your story resonates with so many people. It's not just about jewelry. It's about representation and empowerment. We need more spaces like this, places where our voices can be heard." As they spoke, Maya noticed a group of young girls nearby, their eyes wide with wonder as they admired the jewelry. She felt a surge of inspiration. These girls represented the future, the next generation of artists and entrepreneurs who could break barriers and challenge stereotypes. "Hey there," Maya called out to them, beckoning them over. "Would you like to learn how to make your own jewelry?" The girls' faces lit up with excitement as they rushed over to Maya. "Yes, that would be amazing," one girl exclaimed. Maya smiled warmly at them. "Great. I'm planning some workshops in the coming weeks where we can create together and share our stories. You're all welcome to join." The girls cheered enthusiastically, their energy infectious. In that moment, Maya realized that her journey was not just about her own success. It was about paving the way for others to follow their dreams as well. As word spread about Elysian Gems and its mission to empower the community, more people began reaching out to Maya. Local schools expressed interest in collaborating on educational programs that highlighted art and entrepreneurship for young students. Organizations dedicated to supporting minority-owned businesses sought partnerships to help amplify her message. Maya embraced these opportunities wholeheartedly, recognizing that her platform could be used not only for her own growth, but also for fostering change within her community. She began hosting monthly events featuring guest speakers from various backgrounds who shared their journeys, stories of resilience that inspired others to pursue their passions unapologetically. The impact of the incident with the officers rippled through social media as well. People began sharing their own experiences of facing bias or discrimination in various forms, stories that echoed Maya's own struggles, but also highlighted triumphs over adversity. The hashtag number Empowerment Through Art gained traction as individuals came together to celebrate creativity as a means of resistance against systemic injustice. As Elysian Gems flourished, so did Maya's confidence in her voice as an advocate for change. She started collaborating with local organizations focused on social justice initiatives, using her platform to raise awareness about issues affecting marginalized communities. One day, while preparing for an upcoming event focused on mental health awareness through art, Maya received an unexpected call from a prominent magazine interested in featuring her story. They wanted to highlight how she had turned adversity into opportunity, showcasing Elysian Gems as a beacon of hope for aspiring entrepreneurs facing similar challenges. "I can't believe this is happening," Maya exclaimed when she received the call from the magazine editor. "I never imagined my journey would resonate so widely." The editor chuckled warmly. "Your story is powerful, Maya. It speaks to resilience and creativity in the face of adversity, a narrative that needs to be shared." As preparations for the magazine feature began, Maya reflected on how far she had come since opening Elysian Gems. The journey had been filled with ups and downs, but each challenge had only strengthened her resolve to uplift others along the way. On the day of the photo shoot for the magazine feature, Maya stood in front of a backdrop adorned with her jewelry pieces, each one telling its own unique story. The photographer captured not just images, but also moments filled with authenticity and passion. As she posed for photos, surrounded by friends and supporters who had rallied around her throughout this journey, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over her. This moment was not just about her, it was about everyone who believed in her vision, a collective celebration of resilience and empowerment. In the days following the magazine release, Elysian Gems experienced an influx of visitors eager to learn more about Maya's journey and support local artistry. The store became a symbol of hope, a place where dreams could all flourish regardless of background or circumstance. But amidst all this success, Maya remained grounded in her mission, to create spaces where stories could be shared freely and where individuals could find inspiration through art. One evening, during a workshop session with young girls learning jewelry-making techniques, one girl raised her hand shyly and asked, "Maya, do you ever get scared? Like when people don't believe in you?" Maya paused for a moment before responding thoughtfully. "Absolutely," she replied honestly. "Fear is natural. It's something we all experience at different points in our lives. But what matters is how we choose to respond to that fear." She continued passionately, "I've learned that when we face challenges head-on and embrace our uniqueness, we can inspire others around us too. Remember that your voice matters. Never let anyone make you feel small." The girls nodded eagerly as they absorbed her words, each one inspired by Maya's courage and determination to rise above adversity. As Elysian Gems continued its journey toward empowerment within the community, it became clear that this was more than just a business. It was a movement, a celebration of identity through art that would leave an indelible mark on everyone involved. With each passing day at Elysian Gems came new opportunities for growth, not only for Maya, but also for those whose lives she touched along the way. A beautiful tapestry woven together by shared experiences and collective strength against adversity. Conclusion. As the sun set over the city, casting a warm golden glow on Elysian Gems, Maya stood at the entrance of her store, taking a moment to reflect on the incredible journey she had embarked upon. What had begun as a small dream, a vision of creating beautiful jewelry, had transformed into something far greater, a movement that celebrated identity, resilience, and community. The past few months had been a whirlwind of activity. From the confrontation with the officers to the outpouring of support from the community, every experience had shaped her understanding of her purpose. Elysian Gems was no longer just a jewelry store. It was a safe haven for creativity, a platform for voices often unheard, and a testament to the power of art as a form of resistance. Maya had hosted numerous workshops and events since the open house, each one fostering connections among local artists and entrepreneurs. The workshops provided young girls with not only skills in jewelry making, but also lessons in self-empowerment and confidence. She watched with pride as they created their own pieces, each one infused with their unique stories and perspectives. One Saturday afternoon, as she prepared for another workshop, Maya received an unexpected visit from one of the young girls who had attended her sessions. "Maya!" she exclaimed, bursting through the door with excitement. "I wanted to show you something." Maya smiled warmly as the girl revealed a necklace she had crafted during one of the workshops. It was adorned with colorful beads that represented her family's heritage. "I made this for my mom's birthday," she said proudly. "I told her all about what I learned from you." Tears welled in Maya's eyes as she admired the necklace. "It's beautiful. Your mom is going to love it," she replied, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Moments like these reaffirmed her belief in the importance of sharing knowledge and empowering others to embrace their creativity. As word spread about Elysian Gems and its mission, Maya received invitations to speak at local schools and community organizations. She shared her story not just as an entrepreneur, but as someone who had faced challenges head-on and emerged stronger. Her message resonated with many, especially young people who felt marginalized or underestimated. During one speaking engagement at a local high school, Maya stood before a room filled with students eager to hear her story. "I want you all to know that your dreams are valid," she said passionately. "No matter where you come from or what obstacles you face, you have the power to create your own path." The students listened intently, some nodding in agreement, while others scribbled notes furiously. Maya felt a sense of responsibility in sharing her journey. It was essential for them to see someone who looked like them succeeding against all odds. After her talk, several students approached her with questions about starting their own businesses or pursuing creative careers. Maya took the time to listen to their aspirations and offer guidance, encouraging them to believe in themselves and pursue their passions relentlessly. As Elysian Gems continued to thrive, Maya also sought ways to give back to the community that had supported her so fiercely. She partnered with local organizations focused on youth empowerment and mentorship programs, creating scholarships for aspiring artists and entrepreneurs from underrepresented backgrounds. One evening, while attending an event celebrating local artists' contributions to social change, Maya found herself surrounded by familiar faces, friends, supporters, and fellow entrepreneurs who had become part of her extended family over time. "Look at what we've built together," Jamal said as they stood amidst vibrant artwork showcasing stories of resilience from various artists. "This is just the beginning." Maya nodded in agreement, feeling invigorated by their shared vision for continued collaboration and support within their community. "We're creating something special here, an environment where everyone can thrive." As they mingled among guests celebrating creativity and culture, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over her. She thought back to that fateful day when she had faced ridicule outside her store, a moment that could have broken her spirit, but instead ignited a fire within her. The incident had sparked conversations about race, identity, and entrepreneurship, conversations that needed to happen more often in society. It reminded everyone involved that change begins with individuals willing to stand up against injustice and advocate for themselves and others. Months later, after receiving recognition from various media outlets for her impact on the community through Elysian Gems, Maya found herself reflecting on how far she had come since opening her doors for business. One evening at home, surrounded by sketches for new jewelry designs inspired by different cultures around the world, she received another message from one of the officers who had mocked her initially. This time it was different. He expressed admiration for how she had turned adversity into empowerment. "I've been following your journey," he wrote sincerely. "I realize now how wrong I was back then. Your work is inspiring. Thank you for showing me what true strength looks like." Maya felt a mix of emotions reading his message: anger at his previous behavior, but also compassion for his willingness to acknowledge his mistakes publicly. She decided to respond thoughtfully. "Thank you for reaching out again. Growth is possible for all of us. I appreciate your openness." This exchange marked another pivotal moment. Not only was Maya reclaiming her narrative through art, she was fostering dialogue around bias and understanding within her community. As Elysian Gems continued its journey toward empowerment within the community, it became clear that this was more than just a business. It was a movement, a celebration of identity through art that would leave an indelible mark on everyone involved. In those quiet moments at home, reflecting on everything she had achieved alongside those around her, the laughter shared during workshops or stories exchanged during events, Maya knew deep down that this journey was far from over. With each new piece created at Elysian Gems came fresh opportunities for growth, not only for herself, but also for countless others inspired by courage displayed throughout this incredible adventure together, a beautiful tapestry woven together by shared experiences and collective strength against adversity. As she closed up shop one evening after another successful workshop, filled with laughter echoing through its walls, a smile spread across her face, knowing that tomorrow would bring new challenges, yet also endless possibilities waiting just beyond those doors, ready to be explored together hand in hand with those who believed fiercely in their dreams too. And so began yet another chapter in an ongoing story filled with hope, a reminder that when we come together as a community, united by love rather than fear, we can create magic out of even our darkest moments.